So, as you guys know, Shannon Sharpe is the newest member of First Take, and one of his first topics about the NBA was debating LeBron James facing more scrutiny than Michael Jordan. And what Shannon Sharpe, just like Rich Paul, argues is that LeBron James being more scrutinized, factoring that into the larger picture, makes him greater than Michael Jordan.
Does LeBron face tougher scrutiny than Michael Jordan did?
Yes, because there was no social media.
Okay.
And Rich Paul is absolutely right. There was no 24 hours, 7 days a week, 365, in which we had an idea. And what the internet has done is turned the common person into a head coach, into a general manager, into a scout, into a professional athlete, into all these things. So now they get to have an opinion. See, Michael would score 50 points, and they never said, well, Larry would have scored 65. Magic would have gave you 80. But if LeBron gets a triple-double, then they said, man, Kobe Jordan would have had 76 points. So that's what he's up against.
So with this conversation off the bat, social media is slanted as purely negative. When in my view, yes, it is negative in some respects, but also, in the right athlete's hands, can be a tremendous benefit and even positive. For example, having your name out there 24/7, being promoted, being propped up by the media and fans, isn't exactly the worst thing in the world. And if you're like LeBron James, after you have a big game, score 30, 40, 50 points, what are the fans automatically saying in the comments? He's the greatest of all time, he's the GOAT, this proves LeBron James is the best ever. Again, not the worst thing in the world. And when it comes to ESPN and Bleacher Report, those media sites, for any minor stat accomplishment, they're going to repost it, retweet it, and it's going to get thousands of likes. Who had the most triple-doubles on a Wednesday in the middle of October at 72 degrees? Random stats like that we didn't have 25 years ago always get promoted and always get pushed. So in that respect, social media for these guys is a tremendous benefit. And one thing I found pretty fascinating, Shannon kind of alluded to it, kind of didn't really go there fully, but you could see he had disdain for the common fan having their own opinion out there. As in the past, major networks like ESPN and Fox Sports were the lone gatekeepers for opinions as well as narratives. And what these guys would rather have is those two major sites being the only voice in town with no dissent and no pushback. And back in the 80s, 90s, that's how it was for athletes. Whatever the TV talking head said, the major news network said, that was gospel and that was the going narrative. And unlike today, athletes couldn't push back, couldn't combat that, or switch the narrative like today. And if you look at the 90s specifically, Michael Jordan's his one trusted news guy was Ahmad Rashad. Look at LeBron in 2023. He has guys like Kendrick Perkins, of course Shannon Sharpe, Nick Wright, Tristan Thompson, even Richard Jefferson. Guys who were his own teammates in the media talking positive about him and pushing his own narratives. And if you're looking at someone like Nick Wright, literally this guy's sole job is to defend LeBron James like it's a final stand at World War II.
Do you know how many businesses have been ruined with this? That camera phone? Ooh-wee! Can you, get the camera on Stephen A. You see Stephen A, look? The man said in The Last Dance, this is why he said he retired, Molly.
Yeah.
He said he retired due to mental fatigue and burnout.
The first retired and the second one.
He said the first one.
No, I'm talking about Jordan.
Jordan.
Yeah. The first
The first one.
Go ahead.
Can you imagine? LeBron says, I don't get tired. That's a lie. Everybody get tired. What you mean you don't get tired? You human, just like everybody else. Michael Jordan can tell you something. Nah, he ain't mean that. He just playing with y'all.
Now, stopping it right there, one of the common things I see from LeBron James fans, specifically LeBron James media fans, is saying Jordan 93 simply hung it up, he was tired, he was fatigued, and that's why he quote-unquote quit. Now first off, quitting for Jordan 93, I wouldn't say that was the case, as the Bulls that year actually won the championship and he went out on top. Now I will admit, Jordan 93 was fatigued and was tired, but the driving force, the main reason he retired, was due to his father passing away. For Shannon Sharpe to ignore that in this debate is beyond disingenuous. And if you want to talk media pressure, media scrutiny, I think Jordan 93, the peaks it reached attacking his character, his lifestyle, it might have been a higher peak than LeBron James when it comes to off-the-court criticism. As guys back then were actually arguing, Michael Jordan indirectly was responsible for his dad passing away. And from a peak media scrutiny perspective, I would think Kobe post-2003 faced more media pressure than Jordan or LeBron in their careers, as what he went through was quite literally the gauntlet. And it got so bad, the NBA and David Stern actually tried to move past him as the face of the league. And unlike Rich Paul thinks, I would argue Kobe actually was the first 21st century athlete dealing with media, ESPN, newspapers, and a tad bit of social media.
Then, a few months later, he decided.
But you see, y'all see
that was different. That was different.
And please don't take this out of context.
Sure.
But y'all see how y'all give Michael Jordan grace?
Okay.
Let LeBron James, something of that magnitude that happened to him, they just said he was weak. Every time, yes, they would. You know it. Every time.
I'm sorry. The father get
no,
killed?
I'm saying, yes.
Something like that, Shannon?
They don't give LeBron James the benefit of the doubt that they've given other great players.
So right here you have Shannon Sharpe, a grown man, 50 years old, on the verge of tears, talking about his favorite basketball player. And like many of Shannon's arguments, they're always hypothetical arguments. What would have happened, what didn't happen, and what he thinks should have happened. And I think that right there is the larger point. When it comes to these debates, it seems like one side is always dealing in ifs, buts, coulda, woulda, those type of hypotheticals, when the other side is grounded firmly in facts and reality. And for me personally, I don't need the extra nonsense of media pressure, media scrutiny, things like social media to prove Jordan was the better player than LeBron, compared to Rich Paul and Shannon, who desperately need that to prove LeBron was better. And look, in the internet age, it is very, very hard to put on your phone. It is quite addictive. But at the end of the day, it's in your hand, and you alone have the power to turn it off and black out the noise.
That's the thing. Jordan never got compared to anybody.
Because there was no comparison.
But here's the thing. Even though before he started winning, he wasn't better than. Remember, Larry Bird got 3 consecutive MVPs at the height of Jordan. Magic Johnson won finals at the height of Jordan.
At the height of Jordan? No, the height of Jordan was when Jordan started winning those championships.
So Jordan wasn't Jordan until he started winning.
No. What I'm saying to you is in '88, when Jordan was considered the best player in the world.
You considered him that?
There was in '88, 1988.
I know '88. What happened to him in '88?
Magic tailed off, Bird tailed off. So he was considered the best in the world.
Work with me
but
here.
he had won.
Now, that right there was the last clip from this video, and Shannon went out with an absolute bang. As in that 30 seconds, he lied about 5 different times. As Michael Jordan during his rookie year, his rookie season was dubbed the next Dr. J, and by 87-88 was compared to Magic Johnson, at that time the greatest player in NBA history. And until they met in the 91 finals, that overall passing the torch hadn't took place just yet, as the Jordan era didn't begin till 1991 when he finally beat Magic. Now, one of Shannon's bigger lies, which is pretty egregious, is saying Larry Bird, quote, won 3 MVPs at the height of Jordan. So, first off, the height of Jordan, I would say, is probably 91, 92, and 93. When Bird won his MVPs, it was 84, 85, and 86. In 84, Jordan wasn't even in the NBA. 85, he was a rookie, and 86 played only 18 games. That's like saying Steve Nash in 05-06 won MVPs at the quote-unquote height of LeBron James, who wasn't past his 3rd season. And even worse than that, Shannon said Magic's Lakers winning championships at the height of Jordan. Again, a bold-faced lie. As in 85, Michael Jordan was a rookie, 87 was in his 3rd season, and 88 you could argue he was approaching his peak, a really established player, but not nearly the player 91, 92, or 93 Jordan was. Again, for comparison's sake, that's like saying Chauncey Billups and Shaq won championships at the height of LeBron James. of course, as you guys know, that's not an accurate statement, as in those guys won, LeBron James wasn't even allowed to legally drink. If you want to see how paper thin Shannon's arguments are, just turn around and use them on LeBron James, because it works 1000% of the time. So that right there is the end of the video. As always, thank you guys for watching, hope you enjoyed it. I'll see you next time.